Most people want better soil. That's understandable. So they grab a bag of fertilizer, dump it in, and call it a day. And yeah, your plants might grow for a little while, but there is something that fertilizer will never give you. It's called humus. And I'm going to show you what it actually is, why your soil is completely lost without it, and how to get it into your garden way faster than nature ever could. I'm Sunny from Sunnyside Soil. Let's dig in. So let's clear something up right away because humus gets confused with a lot of things, including the delicious Mediterranean dip. Different spelling, different vibe entirely. In soil science, humus is the fraction of organic matter that has been so thoroughly broken down by microorganisms that it can no longer be decomposed any further. It is stable. It is not a leaf that's going to keep rotting. It's not a wood chip that's halfway through the process. It has reached its final form. Think of it this way. You throw a banana peel in your garden. Bacteria and fungi go to work on it. Worms eat the microbial byproducts. Protozoa, well, they eat the bacteria. The whole soil food web runs that material through itself over and over again. And what's left at the very end, after all of that biological processing, that is humus. Chemically, it's a complex web of large, stable organic molecules. Humic acids, fulvic acids, humin. These are long-chain carbon compounds that bond tightly to soil particles. They don't wash away in the rain. They don't evaporate in the heat. They just stay. And while they stay, they do an enormous amount of work. Here's one thing that I want you to hold on to. Humus is not a nutrient itself. It is a system. It's a biological and chemical infrastructure that makes everything else in your soil work better. Let me walk you through all the things that humus actually does, because this list is pretty impressive. Cation exchange capacity. This is the soil's ability to hold on to positively charged nutrients. We're talking about calcium and magnesium, potassium, and release them to plant roots when needed. Humus has an extraordinarily high CEC compared to mineral soil particles. More humus means that your soil holds more nutrients and loses fewer of them to leaching. You're not just feeding your plants, you're building a pantry that they can draw from. Water retention. Humus is hydrophilic. It loves the water. A single gram of humus can hold several times its weight in moisture. In sandy soils, that means better drought resistance. In clay soils, it improves structure so water can actually move through rather than just pooling on the surface. It fixes both problems, and that is rare. Soil structure. Humus acts as a biological glue. It binds soil particles into aggregates, those little clumps that you see in healthy soil. Those aggregates create pore spaces, which means better oxygen flow to the roots and the microorganisms that live near them. Hard, compact soil has almost no humus. Loose, crumbly, dark soil has plenty. Microbial habitat. Humus is like a five-star hotel for soil microbes. It provides carbon for energy, surface area for colonization, and a chemically stable environment. More humus, more microbial life, more nutrient cycling, more plant available fertility. pH buffering. Humus resists wild swings in soil pH. If you've ever fought to get your pH into the right range and watched it drift back, low humus content is often part of that story. The bottom line, soils with high humus content are more fertile, they're more resilient, they're more drought tolerant, and more biologically active than soils without it. Full stop. So how does humus form naturally? Well, very slowly, like really slow. In an undisturbed forest or prairie, the continuous cycle of plant material, leaves, roots, dead organisms, feeds the soil food web year after year. Over decades, centuries, and millennia, That biological processing accumulates into deep, dark, humus-rich topsoils that we see in places like the Great Plains or the old growth forests. Scientists estimate that it can take 500 to 1,000 years to build just 1 inch of topsoil with significant humus content. Well, that's great, Sonny, but I don't have a millennia for humus to accumulate in my garden, I hear you saying. Well, in a garden context, you can move in the right direction with consistent organic matter inputs. We're talking about compost or mulch, cover crops, reducing tillage. These all feed the process. You're not going to wait 500 years, but you are looking at years of consistent effort before you see substantial humus accumulation, which is fine. That's the long game, and it's worth playing. But what if you wanted to accelerate it? Here's where it gets interesting, and this is something that I've spent years digging into. Worms are, without question, the most efficient humus accelerators in nature. When organic matter passes through a worm's gut, it doesn't just get broken down. It gets transformed. The enzymatic activity inside a worm's digestive tract, combined with the intense microbial community that lives there, does in hours what might take months or even years in open soil. What comes out the other end is worm castings. And castings are about as close to humus as you can get from a bagged product. Castings are loaded with humic acids. They have a high CEC, they're biologically active, packed with the exact microbial communities that drive humus formation when they hit your soil. They improve water retention and soil structure on contact. They don't burn roots, and they work at pH ranges that are safe for almost any plant. When I add worm castings to my bed, I'm not just adding a fertilizer. I'm seeding the soil with a biological starter kit that builds humus over time. You're just compressing the timeline. Here at Sunnyside Soil, our castings come from worms fed a diet specifically designed to maximize that microbial richness and humic acid content. These aren't castings from worms eating cardboard in a warehouse. This is the real thing. And if you want to see what they look like up close, I'll have a link in the description. So here's what I want you to take away from this. Humus is the result of a thriving, biologically active soil that has been fed and left alone long enough to do its work. It is the finish line of the decomposition process. And it is the foundation of the most productive soils on Earth. Your job as a gardener is not to replace humus as a fertilizer. It's to build the system that creates humus, and then protect that system. Add organic matter, reduce tillage, feed your soil biology. And if you want to shortcut the timeline, get some high quality worm castings into your beds and let the microbes take it from there. That's the science. I'm Sunny, this is Sunnyside Soil, and if you liked this video, then please hit the subscribe button. I'll see you on the next one.